Well, welcome to today's program. Today, I'm able to visit with Scott Tackett with Violand Management Associates. Scott is a fellow Buckeye living here in Ohio. How are you doing, Scott?
I'm great, Jeff. Good morning.
Thank you for getting up early. Well, maybe not so early. We both are morning people.
Yes, we are.
Day starts early, so that we're doing this in the morning. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your history. I know you've been involved with human resources. We're going to concentrate on especially the pandemic and the issues with HR concerns. So what do you do at VMA?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. I'm a business advisor. So I work with my own client base, and basically as the business advisor, I get involved in every aspect of their business. So we're involved in operational issues, financial issues, sales and marketing issues, HR issues, of course. So I assist them in every aspect. As you indicated, my background is in HR. I spent 32 plus years in a manufacturing environment, and probably for about the last 20 to 25 years, I was involved in human resources, and we were a tire manufacturing company. So that's my background, and that's where I came from. I've been working with Violand for 14 years now.
Good deal. You know, Scott, I've sat in on some of your presentations. You know, you've seen me there, and I have to say, many people might think of the HR department as, you know, it's there, and unless I stay out of trouble, or if I stay out of trouble, everything's good.
That's
But
right.
you make it fun. I have to say, you do a nice presentation and you make it fun. So tell us what's going on with that type of department and companies today.
Yeah.
You know, HR is involved with hiring and firing and monitoring employees, making sure everyone's compliant. But what about now?
Yeah, Jeff, that's a great question, and I feel very strongly that in the last several years, many clients, and I think in our industry overall, are now recognizing the true importance of the HR role. I think before we were kind of the pat people on the back and wish them happy birthday, and you know we'll serve them a barbecue hamburger every once in a while. And I think that mentality has changed. When we truly look, and when I work with companies and folks, you know, I talk about that the true and the best asset that we have are our people, our equipment, our technology. You know, that's pretty much across the board. But the real true best asset is our people, and I'm excited because I see this industry, even from the 14 years that I've been here now, really grown into recognizing how critical the people side of our business really is. And as you mentioned, with the pandemic and this in my career, and been involved in HR for 35 years, this is the biggest crisis that I've ever seen happen to affect our businesses and affect our people. So it's really, while it's a very, very challenging time, I think it's a great opportunity, and I see many companies that have expanded on the understanding of just how important our people are.
Yeah, people are important. I mean, when I do business with others, when they come to my home or I'm out buying something, it's the people that makes the difference. So the issue that we've seen with the pandemic is with you have a staff, you might have to let some go, furlough, or lay them off. What have you seen with that? What big issues have you helped your clients deal with?
Yeah, first of all, the changing regulations and the impact that that's going to have on people. We've had a lot of conversations daily about am I adhering to the proper regulations? Am I doing it properly? You know, as a sidelight, we're also talking about the safety and the safety of our employees and the remaining employees. Are we laying the right people off? What's going to be the effect of how that is? How do we go about that to be? People know me now, and they know my favorite phrase, to be firm, fair, and consistent. And so they will call me up and say, all right, Tackett, how do I be firm, fair, and consistent? And so we walk through those processes and we look at an evaluation. And what I've been most impressed with is that, and this is my experience, no one that I've worked with over these months of this crisis have what I felt were shooting for the hip or were concerned about their employees, and that is very, very important to me, because they've taken into consideration how is that going to affect our current employees? How is it going to affect people, how they view our company? When we look at the layoffs and we look at the reduction in force, how do we do that so that it makes it appropriate for everyone and it's fair across the board? So there's a lot of questions, and that's what I've been impressed with. I've not come across a situation where I felt someone just was making a random decision and we won't worry about it. So they're thinking. What I always talk about from a human resource perspective, Jeff, is to consider the unintended consequences. A lot of times we have a problem, and so we address that problem, but we don't think about what the unintended consequences are. And that's the role that an HR person will play. Okay, we might solve this problem, but what are we causing down the road? And we may stay with that same decision. We may make that same decision, as long as I think what my job is to do is recognize what those ramifications are down the road.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. So Scott, maybe one more question, and then we'll let you get back to your day. The people are important, and we want the best people in our companies. So can you share any tips on how to find the best staff? I know you've written for Clean Facts, and you've outlined it, but tell us, if you're going to hire someone, if Scott Tackett's going to find somebody, hire them and bring them in, how do you find the best people?
Yeah, Jeff, that's not the first time you and I have talked about it. And it's not the first time that I've talked. Well, it's first time this morning. No, second time. I've already had a call this morning.
Hot topic then, hot topic.
Yeah, there's that is the number one issue that we're facing across the spectrum of businesses. Finding people and retaining people. And what I'm communicating to my clients is that I wish I had that magic wand, but if I had that magic wand, I probably wouldn't be talking to you this morning. I'd be saving the world, right? And making millions of dollars. So the issue is that I think we have to be constantly recruiting. But in that recruiting process, I don't think that there's any one magic. I think we look at internal promotional opportunities. First and foremost, I always feel that that's very motivational. So before I go out and hire someone or attempt to hire someone, do we have anybody internally that we can develop and motivate? And that's why a succession plan is so critically important. I also look at the idea that as we move forward, I want to be constantly recruiting. Some of the best hires that I've made over my 25 years are a person that I saw working in a restaurant. A lady that was at my dry cleaners. She provided extraordinary customer service, and I would go in every Saturday and notice how fantastic a job she did. One day I asked her, I said, would you be interested in moving on? And long story short, her husband had just lost his job. She was happy at the job she was at, but she needed a better paying opportunity. So, and she became my customer service manager. So I'm constantly recruiting. I'm constantly looking for people from every source, internal as well as external. I think, but the key is, as I'm looking at the hiring process, I want to hire for culture. I want to hire for culture. I want to find that right person. I think that for many years, I got caught up in looking for experience. And I think I can truthfully say that over the years, the best hires that I made are the someone that hire for culture. So I think we have to determine how we can find that person, because it's not only hiring the right person, it's retaining that person. And I think that that's where we kind of lose the game. We think about, okay, we're going to put all this effort into hiring and retention, and in that hiring process, I think the retention process is equally as important. How do I keep that person so that we don't have that level of turnover? And it's the culture. And that culture comes from the top down, not from the bottom up. And so what I would suggest to every person that I work with is, what are the characteristics that you're looking for that says this person has been successful? Think about a technician. Think about a project manager. Think about a business development person. Think about the people that are successful. What are the qualities that they exhibit? Search for those in the hiring process. But I think that going back to the original question is that you are constantly recruiting. And even though if you find what you feel is that right talent, I suggest you hire that person. Even though our numbers may not support that short term, we need to be thinking long term. And you go to every source that you possibly can.
Good stuff. Now, so once you have the perfect team and you think you're done, you're not done. You're
Now,
still looking.
Jeff, that's it. You are still looking. And I feel that what you can do is, if you find, it's much like a draft in the sports world. You draft for talent, and maybe you don't need that quarterback. We do. I won't get into that from being Ohio, but if you look for that person and maybe you don't have that particular opening, but they can bring talent to your company, I want to hire talent. So I am constantly looking, and I think that my recommendation is, let's not be satisfied with today. Let's be looking 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And I think the important consideration is that we can talk about this business. And Jeff, I always tell people, and you've heard of my presentations, you've been there. I made tires for 30 years. Okay, big deal. You know what we do in restoration? We help people at their worst time. We come in when they're in a crisis. And I would sell that in the interview process. I would sell that to people, because I think the younger people today, they want to make a difference in this world. That's, I don't buy into millennials don't care, and we're calling the next generation. So let's talk about the differentiator. Let's talk about the fact that you can start with my company and you can make a difference in the world. And I think we need to sell that, because we're going into people's homes, their buildings at their worst time. And we're restoring lives, truly. I know that sounds corny, but we're doing that. And I would sell that in the interview process. And I don't think that we utilize that enough. And I strongly encourage my clients and the people that I work with to be proud of what we do. And I think people want to make a difference. We're talking about the video world. I strongly urge, attach videos to your website. Talk about a day in the life of a technician. Talk about the day in the life of a project manager, because people are utilizing the media sources that we have. They may not read a page-long ad, but they may look at a 30-second or a minute video and say, "Wow, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'd like to see that and explore that."
Well, great words of advice from Scott Tackett, a morning person working for VMA. So we'll let you get back to it. Thank you for sharing your insight.
Jeff, thank you for the opportunity, and continued great job. This is a great forum, and I've enjoyed your programs in the past, with the exception of Jeff Jones. But anyway, we're good.
He's going to see this,
That's right.
Be ready.
That's right.
Be ready for the retribution.
Right. It's coming. It's coming. Thanks
All
again,
right,
Jeff.